Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called Secret Techniques to Get Rid of Home Squatters. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help get the word out. Now, let's get started. The mainstream media is going to great lengths now to show you how crime is exploding in cities across the country. In San Francisco, the government is now telling federal workers to stay home and work remotely from their homes because there is just too much crime and danger in the streets to come in to the office. What's interesting about that is that crime in San Francisco and other cities has been horrific for several years now, but they're just now telling federal workers not to come into the office. Isn't that interesting? In fact, San Francisco has been terrible for years, and it's been so bad that the city had to hire dedicated sanitation workers and pay them middle six figures, to spray the human waste off the streets and the sidewalks each morning, just so that pedestrians can get to work or go shopping without getting their shoes covered in human waste. The city is now paying these dedicated sidewalk cleaners a ton of money. Another problem is the explosion in home squatters. Squatters used to be bad, but now they're like an invading army. They're everywhere and getting more aggressive and criminal in their behavior. They're moving into the private homes of people who made the mistake of leaving their property unattended for a few hours or a longer period of time. They're moving into public buildings. They're moving into stores and commercial buildings. They're occupying homes and buildings everywhere, and the city and the law enforcement appear to be doing almost nothing to mitigate this issue. So we did some research into nonviolent solutions for dealing with these squatters, and here's what we found. And before you contemplate doing anything about the squatter that may be giving you issues, talk to your lawyer and get their opinion on what they think. Now here are some of the cases that we found. One family had squatters move into their homes and refuse to leave. So the family made up a fake letter telling the squatters that they had just won this incredible contest, including a 3-day free trip and vacation. So what did they do? They mailed it to them, and then they got ready. It said that on such and such day, you and your family have won a 3-day trip where you will be our guests, all expenses paid. When they got there, they found out that the trip was non-existent and that there would be nowhere to go. They immediately figured out that they had been duped and they rushed back home, but guess what? The trip had been timed to occur during rush hour. So it took hours for them to get there and hours for them to get back. They were just sitting in traffic. By the time they got home, they realized that the true owners of the home had moved all their stuff out onto the street and they had moved back in. The home's real owners had also purchased a couple of guard dogs to keep the squatters off the property. They had also hired locksmiths to come in and quickly change all the locks on all the doors to keep the squatters out. They also hired a cameraman to film the squatters attempt to force their way back in, but when the squatters saw the guard dogs and everything else, they didn't bother. Lastly, they bought some extra garden hoses, and they may have accidentally sprayed the squatters when they came back and thought about forcing their way back into the house. Here's another example of how homeowners dealt with another group of squatters. When one family had difficulty getting squatters out of their house and the police refused to do anything because they said it was a civil matter, and the real owners of the home decided the best way to deal with this was to accidentally shove potatoes up the exhaust pipes of the squatters' cars each day. Now, it took a while for the squatters to realize what was going on, but whenever they fixed the problem, somehow, mysteriously, the squatter's car would get new potatoes shoved up their car tailpipe, and it would be a very expensive reoccurring repair for them to pay for. Another thing that homeowners have done to get rid of squatters is they would anonymously call the police drug squad and let them know whenever the squatters were selling weed or fentanyl to the neighbors or other strangers. They would videotape it, and then they would keep sending it to the media to force the police to try and interrupt their drug business and arrest them. They would also plant huge signs on the lawn of the home they were squatting in, saying that the drug dealers were squatting in this house and that they need to leave. This sort of retribution went on for a while until the squatters finally did leave. Now, once again, we don't advise anyone actually do any of these things, and you should definitely talk to a lawyer about this situation before you even think about taking action. Just remember, if you do nothing, these squatting situations can go on for months or years in some cases. And if you have a mortgage to pay, you could lose the house during that time. You should definitely take some sort of legal action. Most squatters aren't just criminals, they're also professional con people. They will print up fake leases for your home, and when you call the police, they will show them the fake lease to try and convince them that they have a legitimate right to rent your home or lease your home. This often confuses the police, who will then stand back and tell them this is a civil matter and they should take this up with the courts. The problem now is that in many jurisdictions, the courts are backed up for years. That means your squatters can continue living there for free until the matter is resolved in the courts. So don't do anything illegal, but doing nothing won't help your case either. Good luck. Thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help spread the word. Thank you, and we shall talk to you soon. Bye-bye.